Hey guys, my name is Sultan and today I'm going to be sharing exactly how you can save money. So not only am I going to speak about how I save money, how I've been doing it for like the past 4 years now, that's been working for me, but I'm also going to go through exactly what you can do to retain as much money as possible and what you can do to actually make this money make you more money. So exactly when the money comes into your account, exactly what you need to do step by step to save money, to make more money. So I do understand that we all like to spend money. I like to spend money myself on things that actually make me happy. So the whole point of saving is obviously to have enough money to work with to do things like travel or whatever makes you happy anyway, rather than spending the money on things that are temporary that you're probably going to regret in the next 5 months. So without wasting too much of your time, I'm going to just highlight a few things you need to know, from the get-go before you even start to save money. And the first thing you need to just understand is do not spend money before you get the money. So this is because the bank has made it very, very easy to spend money before you make the money, in the sense of pretty much having credit cards, having overdraft and all these means where you can pretty much spend money before you have the money. And we all understand that if you can't pay that money back, you're pretty much going to be paying a ton more than you spent. And this is exactly how people lose money month after month and after month. So this isn't actually too hard to do. I do understand that some people have to go into overdraft and stuff just because of circumstances, but 99% of the time what you want to do is just avoid using that credit card to spend money that you cannot afford to actually spend. In the sense that, assuming you wanted to buy a car, for example, if you don't have that money, that money ready to buy that car, do not buy that car. Because if you use a credit card for that car now and you cannot pay back when the bank is asking for that money, interest rate is going to add up and you're going to be paying more for that car than it's actually worth. So what this will then result in is when you do get your paycheck, you have to pay that large sum of money. Then you're going to now rely on the next month paycheck and you're going to take another money from the credit card, and it's going to be a continuous cycle over and over and over again. So before you even start saving money, before I even get into the next few strategies that you can use, just avoid spending money before you have the money. Now, before I dive into exactly how you can continue to save money over time, you need to now implement a system where you can continuously pay off your bills and everything along that line automatically without you having to remember anything or do anything yourself. This is one thing I've done for a very, very long time, and it just makes my life completely smooth. But what you want to do is go onto your bank, whatever bank you use. You want to set up direct debits. I'm pretty sure that most bills and everything like that is already direct. It just happens by itself. But for the ones that isn't, you want to implement the same system. So if you can't actually just pay this off directly automatically without you having to do anything, what you want to do is have a separate bank account that you can send money into every single month, or whenever you get paid. You want the money to go in there directly when that happens. So what this is going to do for you is that you're not going to see money that doesn't belong to you. So what I mean by this is every money that is going to be in your spending account or your general account is pretty much money that you can spend, you can work with. And the money that's going into that separate account for your bills and everything like that, you just know that you're probably never going to look into it, because every money in there is going directly to something. So this is going to tempt you to spend money or overspend money that you don't actually have. Now, those are the main two things I wanted to just put out there, so you guys just know that. Just set that aside. That's something you should always do before you even get into these next few tips. You just want to always keep that in mind every single time, and that alone will probably make a difference to the way you save and to the way you spend money. And now I'm going to go through several other methods that now you can actually use to save money over time, every single month, every single week. And I'm going to give several methods just because I know some might work for some people, some might not. So of course, just go through it and just see exactly what works for you. You can feel free to try multiple things out. That's what I did. I tried several methods, and I stuck to one, and I stuck to it for a very, very, very long time. First thing I believe everyone should do is have an emergency fund. So emergency fund is pretty much money that is set aside for emergencies only, and emergencies don't include food, shopping, or anything light. So this can be your car breaking down, for example, and you can't go to work anymore, or some sort of heavy bill that you have to pay that obviously if you don't pay it, the interest is going to be significantly large, and that's just going to cause a lot of mess. So things like that are emergencies. And what this could be is let's say 3 months of your income in a year, or let's say 6 months if you can't afford to save that much, so something along that line. But you want to have a decent amount of your monthly expenses saved up, and if you can actually extend this and actually have you know, half of your yearly income saved up, or a quarter of your yearly income saved up. And what this will do is just give you that peace of mind. And what this also does is prevents you from using a credit card when you don't want to use that credit card. So that way you have your emergency fund to use before you actually have to go to your credit card to cover anything. So every single month, every single week, you can continue to add, you know, a few money into this emergency fund. You can have it in cash as well. That way, you know, you can always access it whenever you want. But of course, there's the one issue about cash, which I'm going to go through later, is just, you know, inflation and how, you know, your money depreciates over time. So you don't have too much cash on you. So now, after all your expenses are covered, you know, you've paid off your bills, you've saved up your emergency funds, and all of that is all tidy and done. With the money you have left, how you can now save this is, what you can try is withdrawing this money and having it in cash. So this is probably my least favorite, simply because I don't recommend holding too much cash. For one, it could get lost for whatsoever reason. Two, inflation, you know, I don't believe in holding cash just because you can put that money somewhere else to make you money over time. You want your money to always work for you. So I don't fully recommend this, but it's still some things that actually, you know, work for some people. So the purpose of holding cash, or just having your money in cash, you know, in a safe or whatever the case is number one, you can always access it when you need to. But what it prevents you from doing is that you're not shopping online. You know, online is where everything goes on these days. You know, you have money on you in your bank account. In the click of a button, you can just order something without even thinking twice about it. So not having that money in your account means that you actually have to go out of your way to get that cash, put it in your bank account to probably order something. And at the same time, unless you actually decide to take a ton of money out with you, that is the only time you can actually spend that same, you know, money that you have on, you know, shopping wherever you go to, or eating out and everything like that. And on that note, what you can also try, this one is actually one I recommend, is investing in stocks. So with the money you have left now, you can invest that money into the stock market. You know, pick your favorite stocks or invest into an ETF where, you know, you can put your money into the top 500 US stocks, for example, and that way your money is pretty much safe in some sense. Your money is safer. And the best part of it is that your money is beating inflation. You know, your money is going to continue to make you money over time. So this is probably one of the best ways to save money for, you know, several years, because your money is not going to lose its value over time. If you do want to know more about stock market investing and, you know, what stocks to invest into, exactly what you need to know before you invest into certain stocks, then be sure to click on the video down in the description and you can fully get into this. Now, for the first thing you can also do, some of my friends do this, I've heard some people do this, I haven't really done this myself, but what you can do is give your money to a friend or family or someone to hold on to it for you. Technically, this is the best way. If you can give your money to someone you trust, you know, some of you guys might have done this. You know, when you're younger, your parents probably took your money to hold on to it for you. You probably never got it back. But what you can actually do is give your money to your friends or your family. They'll hold it for you. They'll save it for you. And this way, you pretty much cannot access this money unless you give them probably a valid reason to why you need this money. Bear in mind, this isn't going to be money, you know, for your bills and stuff, but this is going to just be money that you have saved up, that you want to save, that you want to keep, you know, over time for several years or for months, whatever the case is. But you can give it to a friend. They will hold on to it for you, and they're not going to give it to you unless it's for a valid reason. So the best way to obviously do this is to give it to a friend who doesn't spend money, you know, recklessly as well. You don't want to give your money to somebody who's going to only encourage you to spend money even more. So obviously give it to someone who's reasonable, someone who actually understands that you're trying to actually save money for the better. So now for the third thing, or the fourth, you know, I've kind of lost count, but what you can now do is put your money into bonds, only if, you know, you're significantly older. So maybe in your 40s, maybe 50s, you can put your money into bonds for like 4 or 5 years, and this is a good way to get guaranteed return on your money. You know, you give your money to the government, they'll, you know, do whatever they want with your money, but you're guaranteed to get a certain return back at the end of your contract for the bonds or whatever the case is. This could be 2 years or 3 years, or, you know, even 4 or 5 years. If you're in your 20s or your 30s, or even in your teens, I would not recommend putting your money into bonds, just because there's a lot more that your money can do for you. You can put your money into things that are a bit more risky, so you can make a lot more money in return. So avoid bonds if you're younger. If you're older, be sure to put your money into bonds. It's another good way of saving money. So you guys should be able to kind of see a trend now, that the whole point of all of this is to pretty much prevent you from accessing accessing your money in a matter of seconds. So that is pretty much the point. When you are able to access your money whenever you want, and you know that you're not exactly someone who's great at spending money, or preventing yourself from spending money, the best thing you want to do is prevent yourself from being able to access your money. So any other ways you have that fits into that same category of preventing yourself from accessing your money, then you probably want to try it, because that is pretty much the best way to save money. And now I'm going to tell you guys exactly what works for me. So this is exactly what I do every single day, every single week, and you guys can actually do this if you want and try it out for yourself, and be sure to let me know if it actually works for you. And yeah, so the first thing I do is, as soon as money comes into my account, I have everything automated. So my savings, my investments, stocks, everything like that, it just works by itself. I like things just being done by itself. I don't have to worry about it, and I know it's done every single week. Every single week I have several accounts. So the first thing that happens, of course, my bills, my phone bills, everything like that is taken. Apple Music and all sorts, those are taken away. And with the money left as well, what I've set up is that the money goes into trading 212, it goes into free trade, all the different investments that I have, money goes into those immediately. So those are pretty much another form of account, because it does it by itself. So even if I end up having about 2,000 into my trading 212, it's just gonna sit there until I decide to actually invest it into something. And after all the the bills and everything like that is all set up, and the stocks going to where it needs to go to, the money that is left now is also stays in that account, almost as a residue income, or whatever you want to see it. And what I can now do with this is choose to invest it into more things, or just put it into the stock market all over again. If I have nothing to really deal with it, I just put it straight back into the stock market. Or what I can also do is just leave it there for a rainy day where I need to actually spend money on something without going into my emergency funds. Of course, my emergency fund is also set up. This has also been done, so I don't actually have to do it every single week anymore. But yeah, this is also something else that I can continue to add into. Finally, I have an account just for spending. So this is almost my spending account. I also pay myself every single week. It's always good to pay yourself, so that way you feel like you're actually gaining something from your hard work and everything you do. So I have an account to pay myself every single week. I pay myself a certain percentage of my income, about 10 to 15%. I pay myself every single week, and that way any money in there, I know I'm free to spend it on whatsoever I want. But at the end of the day, if I spend everything in one go, I know that I can't, have no money to spend until more money goes into there. So that is pretty much how I do it every single week, and it's been working for quite some time now. But obviously it takes some discipline to not, mess up the whole system and add more money and all that sorts. But now that's a wrap. I hope you did find some value in the video. If you did, then be sure to drop a like. I really appreciate it, and be sure to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next video.